When a crisis hits a team, the fallout is rarely uniform. You'll see one person go silent, almost freezing in place. Another kicks into a frantic 100-mile-per-hour overdrive. A third might start transitionally formatting an obsessive contingency spreadsheet. Most psychological frameworks overlook the structural logic behind these reactions. These breakdowns follow a predictable, mapped architecture of failure. The human braining framework maps this through three primary internal compasses. Every mind defaults to one of these three orientations to navigate uncertainty: identity, action, or structure. We call these types be, do, and have. Under pressure, the mind reaches for its core driver to maintain a sense of safety. When pushed past its structural load tolerance, this survival mechanism begins to distort and fail. Recovery requires an understanding of your specific psychological wiring. You have to recognize the exact point where your strengths become your primary fault lines. The B-brainer orients their entire world through identity, meaning, and inner truth. This is the archetype of the visionary, someone whose primary compass is internal alignment rather than external data. In a crisis, they instinctively step back. They pause to ask if the situation still resonates with their core values and reflects who they truly are. Their system fails when that sense of meaning extinguishes. Driven by a terror of self-betrayal, the collapsed B-brainer goes silent and dissociates. They stop moving entirely because they can no longer locate their internal North Star. At their extreme limit, they become absolutists. To restore what they perceive as their pure authenticity, they may lash out or dismantle the very structures, careers, families, projects that they feel have compromised their essence. This relentless search for coherence often leads to a cycle of withdrawal. By prioritizing self-truth over all external connection, the B-brainer often ends up isolated within the very identity they were trying to protect. The do-brainer values momentum above all else. Their logic is built on tangible impact and constant forward motion. Faced with disaster, they charge forward. They aim to solve the problem through immediate, forceful action, trusting that movement itself will provide clarity. They collapse when momentum fails to solve the problem. Because stillness feels like a form of death, a do-brainer in crisis will actually accelerate. They confuse speed with competence and run their engine until it shorts out. This blind acceleration becomes destructive. They burn through their health, their resources, and their colleagues just to keep moving. They are essentially spinning their wheels at 1,000 miles per hour while sinking deeper into the mud. Ultimately, this frantic drive for impact achieves the opposite of its goal. The do-brainer burns up their capacity to act, leaving them paralyzed in the wreckage of their own efforts. The have-brainer orients through structure and predictability. They build their world using systemic order, frameworks, and reliable models of how things should work. Their crisis reflex is to gather facts and secure resources. They stabilize the environment by building contingency plans and tightening their control over the variables. They break when they encounter something truly unpredictable. Terrified of chaos, their mind becomes brittle and rigid. They stop adapting to reality and start policing it instead. Under stress, they double down on rules that no longer serve a purpose. They micromanage every detail and shut down all improvisation, effectively freezing everyone around them into a state of paralysis. This obsession with stability eventually turns their environment into a restrictive cage. The very systems designed to provide safety end up preventing the flexibility required to actually survive the crisis. Psychological collapse happens when the mind runs its survival program long after it loses utility. Your compass points north, even when you're off the map. While your native type is fixed, stabilize the system by introducing deliberate friction against your worst instincts. B-brainers escape the abstract void of lost meaning by anchoring themselves in small, concrete physical tasks. Do-brainers need to ground their action into enforced rituals of rest. This reframes a pause as a strategic maneuver that prevents the engine from overheating. Have-brainers should practice elasticity by introducing small, safe disruptions to their routine. This trains the mind to realize that a minor loss of control is not a lethal event. Understanding your internal architecture allows you to intercept your destructive patterns. It gives you the tools to rebuild your structural integrity before your survival instincts trigger a final collapse.